You're watching KREX News.
Hello, and thank you for watching the KREX News Week in Review. I'm Chad Roderick. Now, in our first headline, a student from Grand Junction High School was taken into custody for bringing a weapon to campus and threatening another student. Kyle Kawamoto has more on the story.
Around 8:15 Thursday morning, School District 51 Safety and Security Team, along with the Grand Junction's Police Department, responded to a tip about a student bringing a knife to school, threatening to kill someone. We reached out to the school district for comment, and they responded with a statement saying in part, quote, "Thanks to students who came forward, the student was quickly and safely detained, and the situation was resolved without incident," end quote.
School resource officers and D51 officers who were already at the school actually responded really quickly, identified the student, located that student, and took that student into custody.
As the 15-year-old juvenile was taken into custody, the minor will be facing 3 counts of felony menacing, along with unlawful carrying a concealed weapon and a weapon possession on school grounds. Now, according to law officials, the student was transported to the Division of Youth Services.
We work closely with school administration to ensure a safe learning environment for students and staff. And when we get a threat of any kind like this, we respond quickly and to make sure that kids are safe, the community is safe.
School officials tell us there is no ongoing safety concerns, and law officials say this is an isolated incident and no injuries were reported during the incident.
We want to remind parents to have really good conversations with their kids, and if they feel they are in any danger at any time, to talk to a teacher, talk to somebody on school staff, wherever you are, and make sure you call law enforcement so that we know about the threat and we can respond appropriately.
And a brewing scandal in Montrose County government has some residents up in arms. We attended a special session for the Montrose Board of County Commissioners called to address the surprising resignation of 3 major county officials. The aftermath had some residents booing, jeering, and demanding their voices be heard. Ariana Boss explains.
I'll be back to ask for your resignation.
Amen.
Passionate, angry, and far from boring.
County government should be boring. And it's not right now.
Montrose County residents were being turned away in droves from a special meeting for the County Board of Commissioners, held to address the recent resignations of County Manager Frank Rodriguez, County Attorney Marty Whitmore, and Deputy Manager Emily Sanchez just this past Monday. Longtime Montrose residents said they'd never seen a meeting like it.
It'd been very calm for the last 7.5 years. Things got done, there wasn't drama. And now this.
Following the shocking announcement, Montrose Commissioner Chair Scott Majaris and Vice Chair Sean Pond came under community scrutiny after allegations by Whitmore and Rodriguez that the commissioners asked for their resignation.
I have the values of Montrose County. It includes excellence, service, and stewardship. And I can tell you the people who are being asked to resign exude these values.
Despite the pushback, the commissioners did have their supporters in the crowd.
Commissioners Pond, who is brand new, and also Majaris, that their main focus is not spending more money than the county has.
On the agenda was a public comment period allowing community members a chance to present their concerns to the board, a chance they never received.
We were told that there would not be a public session due to the nature and the time, or I don't know.
After a private executive session, the board named Julie Andress as the interim county attorney and Leslie Kwan the interim county manager. But according to some Montrose residents, this meeting is far from adjourned.
The recalls start July.
And we were the first to report that 2 people, along with a cat and a dog, died Wednesday morning in a residential fire on Gunnison Avenue. We were the first on the scene, and that fire happened at on the 1100 block of Gunnison Avenue, leading to a temporary closure between 11th and 12th Streets. Callers reported smoke and flames coming from the windows of the home, and officials say there were 2 patients along with a cat and a dog who were removed from the home and transported to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries. Sadly, both victims, including the 2 animals, would succumb to those injuries.
We did respond with a full structure assignment, found active fire at the residence.
The Mesa County Coroner's Office will reveal the identity of the victims once they find the next of kin. And a disturbing find at a Western Slope cemetery, the final resting place for several people in Delta, falling victim to vandalism. Delta police are actively investigating a crime that occurred in Delta's city cemetery. Ariana Boss has more.
It's hard to imagine that this peaceful, quiet cemetery in the city of Delta is now the scene of an open investigation. Approximately 21 combined bases and stones at the Delta City Cemetery were vandalized sometime on the evening of April 9th or the early morning of April 10th, according to city officials.
A lot of vases were broke off. It looked like they appeared to have grabbed one stone and used it to batter other stones, breaking some in half and then chipping others.
Cemetery management says an angel statue was shattered. Flower vases were ripped from their bases. Even a whole gravestone was extracted from the ground. You can see the damage here on this beautiful white stone, but I've been told by graveyard officials that allegedly this white stone was extracted from the ground and used to smash other neighboring gravestones. Park management told us this type of vandalism has happened before, with incidents dating back to 2008. City officials told us the damage this time totaled over $22,000. They say their insurance company has agreed to pay the claim minus the city's deductible, but according to Delta Police, the damage doesn't stop there.
It's disappointing that someone would go to that level and destroy. I mean, it's a sacred place up there. It's sad that somebody would go and do something like that, and it's frustrating for us. And my heart goes out to the families. It's got to be hard to go up there and see your loved one's headstone desecrated like that. So it is frustrating. I promise we are doing everything we can to move forward and try and get this resolved.
Yeah. The Delta Police Department currently has one suspect and one person of interest that may turn into more or less. We'll keep you updated as the investigation continues. Ariana Boss for KREX.
And in March, investigators found what they believed to be the remains of Jordan Marsters in the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. And on April 13th, U.S. Park Rangers conducted an operation to recover those remains. Now, they confirmed the remains to, in fact, be those of Marsters. It hasn't been shared where exactly the remains were recovered, though we are aware it was a remote and highly technical area of the park. On February 15th, family members reported to the Denver Police Department that Marsters was missing. Marsters was linked to an abandoned vehicle at Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, where search efforts began. Last week, Governor Jared Polis signed a new gun control bill into law, with several groups condemning the decision, including the Colorado House Republicans. Now the Colorado GOP wants to take this issue to the U.S. Attorney General. Kyle Kawamoto has more on the opponents and what they are saying of the new law.
We believe that between the U.S. Attorney General and the Second Amendment task force that's been set up, that they can help us to review the constitutionality under U.S. law.
On Tuesday, the Colorado House Republicans held a press conference outside the state capitol to speak about the outrage of the new gun bill.
The Second Amendment is a right, and to put a paywall in front of that right is egregious, and it's wrong. And it's creating classes, an undefensible group who is held back by financial barriers.
I don't believe it makes our community safer, and all it does is infringe on law-abiding citizens.
Last Friday, Governor Jared Polis signed Senate Bill 25-003.
It's officially the law of Colorado. Congratulations.
With the people in this room and legislators who have the courage to stand up to our opposition, we have been able to add to the safety of each and every Coloradan, especially when it comes to gun violence.
The law will require anyone wanting to buy a semi-automatic firearm with a detachable magazine to get a permit first through a local sheriff's office. It also bans the sale of rapid-fire conversion devices like bump stocks. From the conference, House GOP Minority Leader Rose Puglisi states that there will be no lawsuit at this time.
We as House Republicans are not going to use taxpayer money to file a lawsuit. I'm sure there are plenty of organizations and citizen rights groups. In the meantime, all we are asking for is a review of the constitutionality under the U.S. Constitution.
This will be the first unfunded mandate to the Sheriff's Department, with the first implementation being roughly over $300,000 to $350,000 a year.
Get to make the decision, do I pass that cost on to the individual trying to purchase a firearm? Or do we bear that cost, which means that I have to take deputies off the street who are protecting our community for a process that I know will not reduce crime in our community.
And that does it for the KREX Week in Review. Stay tuned every Friday for an overview of this week's headlines.